So in today's video, I want to talk about how, as a footballer, you should be excited to play against the best players and you should always want to play against the best players. So yesterday, I went to a ball session at Power League with some of my guys and there were a few academy players there. In fact, I say a few academy players. Majority of them were academy players. There were about, I'd say about, what, 24 guys? 24 other guys. There were about 6 of my guys. And yeah, there were about 24 academy players and National League players. And as soon as we pull up, bro, the guys that I know start making excuses, talking about, oh, I don't know if I can play, I forgot my boots, oh, I'm injured, you know, oh, I had a tough session yesterday, I don't think I can play, you know. And guys start making all these excuses, moving shook. And I was just thinking in my head like, yo, bro, you should want to play this game, you know what I'm saying? You should want to test yourself, see the level that you're at, you understand? It can only make you a better player. So yeah, certain guys were like, oh, you know, my hamstring's a bit tight. Oh, I remember even one guy was like, oh, you know, oh, my neck's hurting, my neck's a bit sore, I don't think I can play. And all of this stuff. And even the guys who were going to play in the game, we go onto the pitch and they were like, oh, we're going to get smoked here, we're going to get moved to here, we're going to get battered, etc. You understand? And I was just thinking, yo, let's just play the game, you understand? Let's just play the game. You never know what's going to happen. And to be honest, the final score wasn't even that bad. I think we lost 3-2, but the thing was that people came like an hour and a half late, you understand? People came an hour and a half late, which meant we only got 30 minutes of playing time. And in those 30 minutes, we only lost the game 3-2. And to be honest, when I was playing in the game, I was looking around and I was thinking, yo, I'm not too far off here, you understand? Like, I'm not too far off. Like, I didn't look out of place at all. To be honest, majority of people who even played on my team who weren't academy players / National League players, nobody really looked that out of place. There were maybe, you know, one or two who looked out of place where you look at them and you're like, alright, cool. They're not meant to be here, you understand? But the majority of people, they look like they belong, you understand? They look like they could actually compete. The game was competitive. Like I said, it was only 3-2. So I was just thinking in my head like, yo, why were people so shook to play, you understand? Why were people so shook to play against academy players? You should embrace the competition. You should be excited to play against these academy players because, like I said before, you can learn from it. And plus, you can take confidence from it. Like I said, because the game was competitive, now I'm taking confidence from it. Now I'm like, alright, cool. There's a few stuff in my game that I need to, you know, improve. There's a few things that I've seen, you know, the academy players, the National League players do that I need to implement in my game. But overall, I'm not that far off. And now I can take that confidence so that when I play people who are quote-unquote at my level, I'm like, yo, I've already played against, you know, academy players. I've already played against, you know, National League players. It's like, yo, so these, man, I'm not worried about them, you understand? Like, I've played against the best, I know I can do so. When I step onto the pitch with people at my level, I'm just like, yo, I'm not nervous, I know what to do. And yeah, I'll be confident. I'll walk onto the pitch like, yo, I'm the best player here, you understand? And that should be the exact same thing with you as a footballer. When you play against players who play at a higher level than you, the two things that you need to do is that, one, you need to learn from it. You need to learn, you need to look at them and be like, alright, cool, what are they doing that I'm not doing? What makes them play at this level? Is it the sharpness of their play? Is it their decision making? Whatever you can sort of decipher from the game that you played against them. And then number two, if the game is competitive, yo, take confidence from that. If you have a good game against, you know, the quote-unquote better players than you, you can take confidence from that and go into your team training sessions, your team games, and it's like, yo, you walk onto the pitch and now you're like, alright, cool, I've already played against the best, you understand? So these games that I'm playing with players at my level, it's not really, you know what I'm saying, I'm not really nervous for them. I'm confident. I go onto the pitch and you feel like you're the best player there. But the two things that I deciphered from the game that I played yesterday against these higher level players is that, number one, on and off the ball, they're sharp. They're just sharp. Everything's sharp. The movement on and off the ball is just sharp. Nothing's lethargic, you understand? You know them times in a game where you might look around, you might have a bit of time on the ball, you know what I'm saying? You get to turn with the ball slowly and then pick your head up, maybe take 1 or 2 more touches and then pass the ball. When you play against the high level players, it's none of that, you understand? It's none of that. Like I said, it's just the ball's always moving, you understand? Even if it's just you playing a 1-2 with someone, just playing a 1-2, just keep moving the ball. You see, when you watch teams like Barcelona, you never really see them just holding the ball. You never really see one player just holding the ball. Even if they're just playing 1-2s between them, they're always just moving the ball, just looking for pockets of space, you understand? They're always just moving the ball. They're never just, you know, just lethargic, taking time on the ball and all of that. And then another thing is that when they lose the ball, they're straight on, you understand? That's why you have to be quick on the ball, because when you do eventually get the ball off them, they're straight on, you understand? There's none of this, oh, I lost the ball, let me just walk. It's like, nah. As soon as they lose the ball, they're straight back on, you understand? They lose it, everyone's sprinting. you tackle someone, you look up, there's 3 players around you, so you have to be quick. You have to sort of know what your next action is, know what your next pass is in the game. Especially because yesterday as well, we played 8-a-side on a 7-a-side pitch, so obviously the pitch is a bit tight. Like I said, it's an extra player for what the actual pitch needed. Like I said, 8-a-side for a 7-a-side pitch, so you had to be quick on the ball, you had to be sharp. You couldn't, you couldn't be lackadaisical on the ball, like I said. But then the other thing is that these guys do very well is that they find pockets of space. Their rotations, in the middle of the park, between the centre mids, the wingers, and even the striker, their rotations are very, very good. They know how to sort of peel off into certain areas to get the ball, to help their team progress the ball and penetrate the opposition. So their centre mids are always rotating. Maybe there'll be a centre mid that I was playing against. First he's in the middle, next he's out right, next he's out left. Now he's taking up the striker position. Sometimes he'll drop into the centre backs, receive the ball from the keeper, and then play out. But that's another thing that I realised, that these guys are so good at just popping up in different little pockets of space. Wherever they see the space, pretty much, they'll just go into it and try to exploit the opposition. You understand? Like, obviously, I know it was 8-a-side, maybe in 11-a-side you can't really do that. You have to be a bit more structured, a bit more organised. But in 11-a-side, you still have to, between centre mids especially, you still have to have a rotation, trying to, move the opposition around, find those spaces so you can receive the ball and then help your team progress the ball forward. It sort of reminds me of a guy like Kevin De Bruyne. You understand? Kevin De Bruyne, you might see him, pick up the ball from Kyle Walker, literally drop in, pick up the ball from Kyle Walker in that right back position. He might pop up in the number 10 between the lines. He might pop out on the left, or he might even pop out on the right, where he loves to play that dangerous cross that he always loves to play. You understand? So these type of players, they just know where the space, you know what I'm saying, they're always just scanning and just looking where the space is, where they can exploit the opposition, and where they can help their team progress the ball and ultimately help their team score goals. So you as a footballer, you should always welcome competition. You should always be excited to play against the best players. If you hear someone's a quote-unquote better player than you, or there's a group of players that you're playing today who are better than you, you should take that up as a challenge. You should be excited to see, alright, cool, where do I measure up? You know what I'm saying? Where do I measure up? Even if you drop a stinker, let's say you drop a stinker, at the very least, you get to learn from it. You get to take lessons from that game. You get to say, alright, cool, I need to do this better, I need to do this better, and I need to do this better, which is obviously going to make you a better player in the long run. And if you do have a good game, guess what? You get to take confidence from that. You get to take confidence from that, and you get to say to yourself, yo, I'm not that far off. You understand? I'm not that far off. If I just tweak a few things, I can literally get to their level. You understand? So in my opinion, playing against better players, it's a win-win. You should never be shook. You should never be afraid to play against better players. It's always just an opportunity to grow as a player. But that's the video for today. Hope you enjoyed. I've been JT, and I'm out.